So, you're prepping for the NEET exam, and you know the deal. The real battle isn't just about studying hard, it's about being consistent. Today, we're going to crack the code on a framework designed to help you build the perfect daily routine, one that's made for you, and one that actually sticks.
But first, let me ask you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Can you actually stay consistent with your studies day in and day out? For most people, if we're being real, the answer is probably not. Some days you're on top of the world, and other days, well, you're just not. And that right there, that inconsistency, is the real enemy.
You see, this inconsistency kicks off a really nasty cycle. You don't study consistently, so your test scores start to dip. Seeing those scores drop, that's a huge demotivator, right? So then you feel even less like studying. And before you know it, the subjects you were already struggling with get even weaker. It's a downward spiral, and it's so easy to get trapped. But what if I told you there's a way to break that cycle for good? All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why routines fall apart. Then we'll dive into Dr. Akanksha Agarwal's IFA technique. We're going to break down each letter. I for identifying your truth, F for acting on the plan, and A for analyzing yourself daily. And finally, we'll talk about your next step. Let's do this. Okay, let's get right to the solution, the IFA technique. Now, this is not some random one-size-fits-all schedule you download from the internet. Nope. This is a proven system for building a routine that is tailored specifically to you. So what exactly is it? Well, the IFA technique is a really simple three-step framework. The whole point of it is to help you break free from that cycle of inconsistency. And it does that by helping you create a steady routine that is personalized, practical, and, this is the most important part, actually sustainable for the long run. The whole thing really boils down to three simple pillars. First, you identify. You figure out your unique strengths, weaknesses, and even your body's own natural clock. Second, you follow a plan that you build based on what you just identified. And third, you analyze your progress every single day so you can keep making your system better. Let's dive into each one. So let's start with the first and honestly the most critical pillar, I, for identify. This is all about getting real with yourself. It's about honest self-assessment. Because think about it, you can't build a plan that works for you if you don't even know who you are and how you operate. So what exactly do you need to identify? We're focusing on three key things here. First, your biological clock. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Second, your subject balance. What are you amazing at? And what subjects, need a little more love? And third, you have to be brutally honest about your time wasters and distractions. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about that biological clock. The whole early bird versus night owl debate. The key thing to understand is that there is no right or wrong answer here. Some of you are fantastic at memorization first thing in the morning. Others, you're a genius at solving complex physics problems at midnight. The goal is to find your personal peak energy hours and schedule your hardest tasks for those times. Don't fight your body's natural rhythm. Work with it. Next up, subject balance. For your strong subjects, the ones you're already good at, the goal is perfection. These are your rank boosters, so you gotta keep them sharp. But for your weaker subjects, the goal is different. It's all about gradual, realistic improvement. Don't try to go from 40 to 180 overnight. It's not gonna happen. Aim for steady progress. The secret is finding that perfect balance. And Dr. Akanksha just hits the nail on the head with this one. She says, selection happens from the balancing of subjects. It's so true. Success in NEET isn't just about being a master of one topic. It's about having a strong, balanced performance across the entire board. Okay, so you've done the hard work. You've looked inward, you've identified your rhythms and your subjects. Now we get to the second pillar, F, for follow, or acting on the plan. This is where we turn all that self-awareness into a real daily action plan. And here is a clear, concrete target for you. The goal is 6 to 7 hours. 6 to 7 hours of focused self-study every single day. And this is on top of your coaching classes. This is your time, and it's where the real magic happens. But what should you actually be studying in those 6 or 7 hours? Well, think of it like a pyramid. Your foundation, priority number 1, is to completely master the theory and questions from your classes. Once you've got that locked down, you move up to the next level, solving previous year questions or PYQs. And only after you've nailed those first 2 levels should you even think about moving on to extra practice problems in other books. All right, we've arrived at the final pillar. And honestly, this might be the most powerful one of all.
A for analyze. This is your daily feedback loop. It's what keeps your plan alive and working, and it's how you make sure you're always getting better. And the process is so simple. Every single night before you go to sleep, just take 1 minute. 1 minute to think back on your day and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. How well did you stick to your plan? How much did you actually get done? Just be honest.
So, what do these ratings even mean? Well, if you're consistently scoring above a 7, fantastic. You're crushing it. Keep going. If you're hanging out in that 5 to 7 range, you're on the right track. Just focus on staying consistent. But what happens if you're always scoring below a 5?
Now listen up, because this is the absolute game changer. A score below 5 does not mean that you are a failure. It means your plan has failed. It's a sign that your goals are probably just too ambitious or impractical right now. So the action isn't to feel bad about yourself. The action is to adjust your plan and make it more realistic. This is how you turn what feels like failure into useful data that helps you improve. So, what now? Where do you go from here? Let's talk about your next step and how you can put this entire AFA technique into practice, starting tonight. Your next step is simple. Start tonight. Take some time to identify your truth. Use that to build a realistic plan. And before you sleep, analyze your day. Every single day that you stay consistent is one giant step closer to that ultimate goal. It's one step closer to putting doctor before your name. And finally turning those headphones into a stethoscope. You've got this.